Hello.
Welcome to the
Good
Sparkles
morning.
podcast. Tree is jumping the gun as per usual, but we are here to bring you the very best of self-publishing tips, advice, resources, and celebrations. How's
Well
that?
said, Shah.
Yes,
It's like
Shah.
you haven't said that for 400 episodes.
You know what?
Well,
The
to be fair, I
400th
haven't.
episode and we still can't get it right.
Nah, and I think there's a lesson there
Yeah.
because, but we do it anyhow.
Yeah.
I think that's our
Yeah.
motto. We screw up and we keep going.
That's why we're
How's
here
that?
today, to tell you why we're still here.
Yes.
So sorry. So today is what? Today is our 400th
400th
episode
episode.
of the Spa Girls podcast. Sorry, that was my fault. I was having some kind of fit or something.
Episode, yeah. But
But
I think I did
how do
already
you do
say
those
that.
Hearts like that. Heart.
Yes.
That's a heart. Heart.
Yeah, no, I don't feel like I'm like a 20-year-old on TikTok, so that feels weird to do that, to be honest.
Okay.
with
It was
you.
my love to you. I can't believe
Oh,
you
was
threw
it?
that back in my face.
Well, that's
I'm hurt,
lovely.
wounded
That's
deep
nice.
to my
Yeah.
core.
So anyway,
Maybe never to recover.
maybe we won't be doing any more episodes after this. If
Yeah,
Wendy
maybe
and
this is the
Shah
last.
keep going.
Yeah.
Um, So we've made it to 400 episodes of the
We
Spa Girls
have.
podcast, which
And can I
we
just
started.
point out,
Yeah,
not a single one has been repeated in that 400 time.
I know, right?
It's
We're
because
pretty
Trudy won't
impressive.
let
There
me.
are no seasons where we've
No
gone back and
seasons.
repeated episodes or
No
anything like that.
seasons,
No,
no
they're doing
holidays.
TV, you mean? The best
and no
of.
paid sick
Yeah.
The
leave.
best of,
Yeah, there's none of that.
Would you like that? Would you like the best of?
Yeah,
No.
we could do that.
Good
We could do the
question.
best of.
Because that would be
Highlights
kind of
reel.
nice. Yeah, to have a little break, maybe over the holiday season. So
No,
Yeah.
we're not doing that. None of that, people.
No.
We've
No.
created a
No.
thing.
Yeah.
So we've been doing this since
Created a monster.
2015. Yep, you
Yeah.
created a monster. 2015 October. So that is almost 8 years in October. So
8 years. Yep.
we've been doing it a while, which is possibly why we're just a bit cash about this whole recording
Yeah.
thing. I'm like busy saying hello through the middle of our intro.
Yeah, you are.
I
Yeah.
would
And
like
how-
to
and
hope
I think
that our
that-
long-standing audience now speaks
Knows.
Kiwi accents.
Yeah.
Yes.
We had someone on YouTube the
And
other day
no-
say we were cute. Our cute little accent.
Oh, nice.
That's adorable.
We,
But you know,
like,
people are still watching and listening, even though they know we're all a bit weird.
Yeah.
So I
I don't
kind
know
of
if
think
I'm
Are
weird,
they
but I
though?
know you are.
Yeah, Cheryl, you're the only weird one. I don't know what you're talking about.
my grandchildren think I'm a bit weird, but that's
Ah.
okay.
Yeah.
Well,
no,
they're still
I'm not
finding
weird.
us too, which just blows my mind, which is awesome because, of course, there's new people coming into the industry all the time. And
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
I just want to say a special welcome to our new people as well
Yes.
as our existing listeners who have been with us from the very beginning, and
Yeah.
been many of those people.
Yeah.
But we, regardless of how long you've been listening, we appreciate you, and
Yeah.
and
Oh,
we're here for you.
Can we just do a big shout out, because I know we always do it at the end, but really we're so thankful for our Patreon
Yeah.
members who
Yeah.
are just giving us a little something that kind of keeps us ticking along with copies, and I don't know, just a bit of encouragement.
I think it's the encouragement, to be honest.
Yes.
It's not
Mm,
necessarily the dollar amount, although we
Yeah.
do really appreciate that,
Yeah.
because frankly, hosting this and
Yeah.
paying for our editing and everything is not cheap. And
Yeah.
it obviously takes
We're not gonna
away
get
from
rich
our
off it.
own careers.
No, we are not getting rich off
No,
it.
But we
Um,
didn't do it for
missed the
that,
boat.
right?
No.
We missed the boat on creating expensive,
Yeah.
expensive
Of course, that's, yeah. But
We did
it cost us
try.
a
We
we
ton.
did
did
try.
try, we
but
did
you
think
know-
about it,
Yeah.
but
but
you
there's
know, we
four
are
of us.
actually very busy people with very
No, but
busy
you-
lives, and
yeah.
this is our way of well, we do it for a lot of reasons, which we're going to discuss in a
Yeah,
bit, don't we?
yeah.
But you know, I guess if we didn't really enjoy it, we wouldn't do it, and that's
Yeah.
that's it in a nutshell, you know.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
is there moments where we want to kill each other? Yes. You know, like any.
What are you talking about, Wendy?
No, but like
I don't
sisters,
experience these
Yeah,
things.
I was going to say, like siblings,
we're like
right?
siblings now.
Yeah.
I
after
don't know
this
that
long.
because I have no siblings.
We've got the youngest
so-
child, Trudy.
Yes, Trudy,
As a
The
middle
matriarch.
child, I am offended.
the matriarch who cannot herd these people into line.
So it's quite an interesting dynamic because for those of you who have been listening to us, you know this, but there's me and Cher who are very similar, and then there are Shah and Trudy who are very similar insofar as they're real learners. And we're not going to talk about Clifton's strengths, so mention that and you're out.
Yay, the Cliftons. So anyway, if you want to know what my Clifton strengths are, I'll tell you. It's input, learner,
No one wants to know.
futuristic,
We're not
We've heard it
aviation,
a zillion
and strategic.
times.
anyway, where I was going with that is, I think that's why we work, is because we're
Yeah.
so different.
Yeah, I
But
think
there's
so.
a similarity. Cher and I can gang up against them, and they can gang up against us. So
Mm.
there is that as well. But I
We have
think
different
we
perspectives,
listen
right?
to each other. I mean, some of us
Mostly,
listen to-
sometimes.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But I
There
think
is that one also.
the thing I have always loved about the podcast, and I've said this before, but it's the showing that things can be done in a different way, because all four of us are different. No matter that me and Shah tend to be a bit more learnery, inputty, wanting to do the coursey, these guys just want to get out and do stuff and get it done. I mean, and in fact, that in itself is like, we try and get these guys to learn a bit more, and they help us to get shit done, stuff done.
Sorry.
We'd like to think so. I'm not sure about that.
you do, and that in itself is awesome. But also the fact that you can have four different people doing things differently and being successful in their own different
With
areas,
the same goal.
with the same goal. Like, and we, all the guests that we've ever had on the podcast have shown that. Like, we've had people who do newsletters, and we've had someone who doesn't do newsletters. We've had someone who does Facebook ads and someone else who doesn't, and they're all doing well. And I love that. I love the fact that it's not this one magic pill or one secret system that's the only way that you're going to be successful. I love the fact that we can show people that there are many ways to be successful, and you can do it your way, and that's awesome.
I think going back to the beginning of to why we started too is another thing that I quite often go back to, is we did it to help people, because when we very first started this journey, we didn't have that help.
No.
We came from a traditional background. And then all of a sudden this new frontier appeared, and it was a learning curve for us. And especially for the older members of the group, who were had to learn these different things. But so if one of the reasons we started this was to help people like us learn. What
and it's still,
we struggled to learn.
I have to say, there's still things that we are all learning, right? Like, none of us, and I don't think
thinker.
anyone can know everything about the publishing industry, self-publishing
This
industry,
is a changing landscape,
because it changes. Right? Yeah.
And before we got on, we were talking about the fact that we have had a myriad of people on here that are doing courses, and just doing really, really successful courses, and they've got books out and all that sort of thing. And this is for us as much as it is for you, because we get to sample everything that's out there, pretty much everything. I mean, I know there's heaps more, but everything pertaining to our industry and what we do and what we love to do. Somebody has an answer. It might be only their answer, but you can't possibly try everything. I mean, Shah and Trudy are a classic example of buying all the books and trying all the courses, buying all the courses, but not necessarily doing them. But we're giving you the opportunity to have a little taster and decide whether it could be for you, where it might be something you might want to pursue down the line. And it's invaluable to me, because I will not be doing all the courses or writing all the books. So, what we get from our guests is
this is our learning each week. Yours and mine share.
Yeah.
This is what we get from the horse's mouth.
All of ours, to be honest.
Yeah. And we get to decide. We get to say, okay, I'm at the moment going wide with some of my books. And so we've had a few more wide authors on this, because that's me pushing that. That's me saying, I want to learn more and talk to these people. And when we're thinking audio. So we get someone who's really good at audio on and things like that. So we kind of get to do that. And actually, to be honest, I'd be quite open to listeners, if you're out there thinking, oh, well, I want to know more about this thing, let us know. Like, we're absolutely open to that, asking for us to get people on the show to talk to. Quite happy to do that. Not everyone.
We'd love any of that.
Anyone's
suggestions are great.
Because after 8 years, we feel like we've done everything.
Here's
right?
the thing: we've never sat there and thought, "Oh man, we've run out."
No. It's weird. I find that weird.
I don't, because I think first of all, there's four minds on thinking of it again, and that gives you that breadth. I think it would be incredibly difficult to do a podcast solo. Like, I just take my head off to people that do that, or even in a pair, to be honest with you. But I mean, my first love is romance, really, and I think we all came from that, and we had that commonality. And obviously, we've expanded our podcast in terms of guests. We have from different genres and things, but there's a lot of romance, and I will always be a proponent for romance writers, particularly. But I also, I just think we you never run out of things to talk about or people to talk to, because there's new people coming in, or there's people that are rebranding different pen names, and we've had some of those people as well that have been doing different things for years. So you know, I think there's always not just more than one way of doing things, but there's always more than one start to your career. You can
and the industry is changing too, Shah, isn't it?
very much so. And that's another thing, just I guess a little pat on our back, is particularly me, I try and keep really track of the trends and what's happening out there, and that's why you'll notice that we had monster romance authors, for example, and nobody else did, and that kind of thing. We try hard to get people that are succeeding in those newer genres, and we had Steph Holmes on about reverse harem and that kind of thing when that was the big wave. So you do see these little big waves coming and going over different things. And if you're a trend predictor, please be in touch.
Tell us. That would be awesome too.
Would like to connect with you.
And that's another thing, is that from my perspective, similar to what you're talking about, but actually slightly different, is that you kind of sometimes listen to all the podcasts, you know, that are out there, all the different ones around, and it's a little bit like the same person goes around all the different podcasts. And for us, I mean, sometimes that happens, sometimes we get the bigger names on, obviously, but actually getting people who are kind of going under the radar a little bit, and maybe you haven't heard of them on other podcasts, haven't seen them before. I love getting people like that who are quietly being successful without kind of being on all the other shows, so that we can bring in people, just show the different ways that people are being successful.
And I'm always
Go share.
I'm always blown away by the fact that we live in a small country, and you might live in a small town yourself, and suddenly you find out about all these authors that are actually doing really, really well and have found a little niche for themselves, or even become a big fish in a big pool. You know, they've just done awesomely, and you know, those are the people that we're attracted to, because they just are they inspirational, aren't they? If you think they can do it, then I can do it. I think that's a big part of what we do.
I think it's amazing how many people listen to us too, and I don't think we really realise until we leave New Zealand.
I mean, it's always a bit of a buzz.
And you go overseas, and you know, I recently went to a conference, and I had a few people go, "Oh, you're Wendy from the Spa Girls," and I'm like, "Yep."
Yeah.
And they're like, "Yeah, I've been listening to you for years." "Oh, right, okay." You know, it's like.
And honestly, I think that is something that is not a check mark against us, but that is something that we miss having, is that regular connection with listeners.
For sure. As an author too, though.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I had probably 3 really big authors say to me that they had been listening to the Spa Girls from the beginning, and I was just like, "Oh, right, okay." Wow, okay.
People listen, like, oh my god.
Yeah, do you actually listen to us? You know, like, we know people listen to us, right? But when you slap in the face with it,
encourage everybody to come down to New Zealand.
Yeah,
which we do.
Come visit
on the regular.
Come visit. Yeah.
We've got room.
Hey, if you all want to come at the same time, we'll have a gathering. You know, like we're not averse to
gathering.
gatherings.
I like that.
You know, we'll all get together and chat. How about that?
Yeah.
Anyway, what are we going to talk
That'd be the
about
Spa Girls
today?
The Spa Girls conference would be, let's all just get together and chat. Let's just have a room and everyone
Get your
just
coffee.
chat.
Bring your coffee over.
And just let yourself be.
I'll bake.
Yeah.
See, I'd be totally down for that kind of conference.
We did have a theme, didn't we, to talk about today?
Oh yeah. So why are we still here? Which I kind of think we've been talking a little bit about,
isn't it?
You go, Trude. You tell us
why are we still here? Well, are we talking about in terms of the podcast? Why are we still here doing?
Why are you on this podcast still? What's bringing you back every week?
I love talking to lots of different people. And I will always love talking to lots of different people. I used to be a journalist before, and one of my favorite jobs was when I worked for a university technology where I got to go around and talk to different people, and that was an awesome job. And I feel like this takes over for me from that. Like, I get to talk to all these amazing people who are going out there doing these cool things, have thought about things and often very smart people, and they're thinking about stuff in a particular way to make themselves successful. And we've talked to so many different people who think about things in so many different ways, and I just love that. I just think that's amazing. I'm in awe of people that we've had on the show, the guests that we've had, and a wide wide variety of areas, like just people succeeding all over the place, and we get to kind of ask them questions and grill them and find out all about it, and we're doing it not just for ourselves but for everyone who's out there listening. So again, that's something I enjoy, the fact that we're kind of helping people out there in the world, maybe bringing these people to their attention so they know that it's possible.
I feel like we are kind of placeholders for our audience, if you like, because we are, all the four of us are so different, as we always said. I feel like that sort of people that can align or with one of us, in terms of how we think and approach things. I'd like to think that we're asking the questions that listener would maybe want to have asked as well. So
is that your take too? That's why you're here each week, Shah?
No, it's not. My take, why I'm here is, I mean,
why are we here?
Not in the universe, Shah, just the spark.
Let's focus now.
Let's overthink this. No.
No.
For all you overthinkers out here, listen closely.
I'm here for the exact same reason that I wanted to for us to start this, and this is my why, as we've talked about previously. And my why is, I think it's really important to have women's voices in this space. When we did start, there was a lot of male podcasters, and God bless them, good for them, but I wanted to hear female voices. I wanted to hear really positive romance voices. And I also think, as I get older, that it's important for women over the age of 30 to be heard in a media space as well, because as we know, as we're getting older, and I'm 56 now, so, started in my 40s, now I'm heading to late 50s, and, suddenly you become a little bit more invisible. And I just think, no, I want to be out here with our flag flying, that we are absolutely holding our heads up in this world and business space, and it's really important to me that women's voices are heard in this.
Nice. And I on that note, I think we need a flag. Just saying.
Yeah, you're right. We do.
We'd have that in the background. Yeah.
We could.
Bunting.
Bunting. Oh my God, we could have bunting at the gathering.
Bunting.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm writing that on the to-do list. Okay.
Spa Girls bunting.
You're up next year. Go girl.
Well, I think I pretty much said everything I had to say about why I'm here. I mean, having the Spa Girls, having us as a team, has got me through some very, very difficult times in my life, losing my parents, and just being alone during COVID. I mean, if we hadn't had a laugh every week, and we did, stupid, crazy, like
every day, dude.
It was every day.
Every day.
If you want to dwell on that side note, they're still on YouTube. If you go to
my Lord, they're not.
If you go to the
we look like we were on something.
I think we were.
We were kind of.
We were
if you want to see a breakdown in slow motion.
Yeah.
Well, you probably have already heard, but we were in lockdown for such a long time, and it didn't just happen once; it happened several times. And I mean, without the podcast and with the girls, I mean, I don't know, I'd probably be a very, very mixed up person if I'm not still. Maybe I still am. I don't know.
You can't take away from the friendship. That's what we forged, and it's that in itself is a novelty, because you don't usually get a group of 4 women that can stick around as long as we have, and still actually don't mind being in the same room with each other. I mean, it probably helps that we live in different cities now. Yeah.
It's always a treat.
No. Look, I miss Wendy's and my weekly catch up, and yours. You used to come too, Shah. But I mean, sometimes we do writing sprints like 2 or 3 times a week, and we always promise ourselves we're going to do it online, and we might hit it once, and then we're so busy. And that was one of the things I was going to say about why I'm still on the podcast, because I'm a busy person. Like my whole life is busy, and that's who I am, and I like to be busy. So just having not rituals, what do you call it, but
we have a weekly schedule, don't we?
This is what we do. This is what we do every week. And it actually, even though sometimes it's a blessing, it's actually weird when we don't podcast. It's kind of like you get up on a Thursday and you're like,
whoa.
I know.
I'm supposed to work.
I mean,
I think
that's not what Thursdays are for.
I think also there's we have a loop in that like most people do, and have 1 million people on messages and 1 million people they talk to, but we have our own loop, and I'll be honest and say, usually every day we talk.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much.
Something in there about something, and the next then 5 of us, the other 3 of us will fire in about something else. But I think that's the thing, isn't it? We've formed that friendship, and that's for me what I've got out of this. More than anything else, it's the friendship. But also, like Cher, I do my learning on Thursdays.
Yes.
I don't like to sit and read. I don't like to listen to podcasts.
We're not reading self-help books at night when we go to
No,
bed.
we don't. We don't do any of that.
I'm not doing that either, to be fair.
No,
I'm not.
Good.
Who does that?
I work.
I just had this thing.
Yeah. I have this vision of you both sitting in bed with miners' lamps reading, you know. Anyway, I must admit, for me, I'm a workaholic. I'm lazy as anything in every other aspect of my life except for my writing and my work. So I'm a workaholic. And on Thursdays, I have to podcast, and I love it. Sometimes when I'm getting ready for it, I'm like, rah, 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 you know, like I really haven't got time for this and rah, rah, rah. But this is my research, and this is my time to interact with people, because I could quite easily just sit in my cave and not interact.
And I think for so many of us, isn't that the truth?
Yeah.
It's funny. It's like I could quite happily sit at home all day, but I get grumpier and grumpier, and then when I'm forced to go out or interact, as with the podcast, I go, oh, wait a minute, this is actually really fun and good, and I enjoy being around people, and actually these other things are really fun. But it's it's the fact that we have to do it every Thursday, so it kind of is that enforcement of
it's not that I don't want, I like people or interacting, because I really do, but I'm quite happy not. And you know, like my kids will say to me, Mum, you and Dad need to actually leave the house occasionally and go, because you know, my husband's retired, so the 2 of us are just home pottering around. I'm working, he's, you know, you need to interact, and Thursday brings that for me. Plus, I've just learned so much, and I've made through the podcast, I've made really amazing connections, like just amazing connections with people. I mean, when I went to Rare, being able to just walk up to people, I didn't tell them who I was. I just straight away said, I'm from the Spa Girls, and they went, oh, the Spa Girls, and it was like a step straight in. And I've asked, and I've asked a few amazing people to come on, so we're hoping to get those. So I mean, I think it's opened doors for us. It has for me.
It has. Yes. I've made some really good friends that have actually helped me in my career, like you guys have, but in a different way, because they've writing the genres that I'm writing, they're doing so well, and I can only emulate them, and you know, not too badly. Because of the fact, do very well, let's be honest, do very well. But I have to say that if I don't have a bit of interaction with you guys, or you know, the writing community, I'm inclined to, when I do see people, to just be crazy, like blah blah blah, you know. And it's like, who is that person?
Yeah, I don't know that person, because that's not what you're normally like. I'm the other way around. I'm just like, and my daughter came away with me to Rare, and she's like elbowing me, going, talk to them. It's not that hard. Just talk. You know how to talk. You've been doing it since you were a child. Like, you know,
I find
use your words.
Hard, so difficult, and I think you do a great job of it, Wendy.
I'm
a complete social introvert, and it terrifies me.
Do you know the thing about it is, I was talking to a few writers when we were away, and I know that there will be a few people nodding behind the scenes on this, and everyone was the same. We were the same. We were extrovert introverts, like, and so far as when we're out in an environment like that, like when we're podcasting like now, we can chat, and it's just something, you know, that we do because we've learnt to do it. But it doesn't mean to say it's who we are. Yeah.
Afterwards, you need that space, don't you?
Maybe because it's safe and it's interesting, you know.
We had a guest a long time ago, and I can picture her. Can't remember the name. I don't want to say a name in case it's the wrong one. And she said, I'm an introvert who's learned how to manage in an extroverted world. And I always thought that probably I mean, there'll be writers out there who are extroverts, and you know, there's always different people, but that kind of was, I think there'll be a lot of people listening who that will kind of be who they are, like that. And if you're it's called an ambivert, if you're kind of in the middle, like you sort of can be introverted and also extroverted.
Of course there's a name for it.
I think Yeah. I think that's me.
I know.
I think
Yeah,
that's
I'm an
definitely me.
ambivert, I think too. I'm kind of
Me
somewhere in the
too,
middle.
probably.
I can be
don't
quite
know.
gregarious, and then I can be quite want to shut myself away, and
Yeah.
that's enough now.
We're done.
We're done.
Yeah.
I can
Anyway,
fake
but
it, but it's exhausting.
Yeah.
that's
It's all right
definitely
to fake it when
introversion.
I think that's another thing. When there's four of us, we can.
Oh, yeah.
If the other
Chat.
ones, we know when one of us is not right.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
like we can always bring that
And
in.
you
And I
have
think when
different
you know
energy
each other as
levels.
well as we know each other now, I can always tell the signs.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, that's not going so well, so we'll, you know. And I think
Yeah.
we've done that for each other along the way as well.
Absolutely.
Mm.
You know,
100%.
my tribe,
Yeah.
what you
Yes.
are.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah.
But we've had I still can't believe 400 episodes. It just
I
is
know.
amazing.
No, blows you away.
No, especially when Shah literally had to bend our arms behind our back to get us to give it a go. And it was so awful. How did we continue? I don't know. We just persevered, just like writing.
Yeah, we just keep going.
It was, yeah.
Will we ever be brave enough to put up that first one that we have a recording of that is
No.
so horrific?
No,
Because we were all reading from our lines.
It's a little bit like first books or first attempts at writing. Not all
It never
should be
sees the
made public.
No.
Not all. There's the
No.
occasional gem, and I'm afraid that we did not produce that gem.
But
Not
you know
for a
what?
while.
This
Took a
is
wee
the other
while.
point that I'd like to make is that we lowered the barriers to us doing it as well. Like there's podcasts out there that have beautiful intros and they get edited and all this stuff happens.
Not for us.
That has never happened. And we've you know,
we edit now, to be fair, because we were getting complaints, especially it's usually me. I just have
the
this
sound.
issue with
audio
mics
sound,
and the
but that's
sound.
an automated
But
program.
we audio edit it.
Yeah.
That's all
but
we
I mean,
do.
editing isn't cutting bits out.
Oh,
no,
we
we're
don't.
one
Creating
hit
like
run.
you
And
listen to
Shah makes all the beautiful graphics that we have.
Yeah,
So.
yeah.
But
So
we
she
just
does.
put the raw video footage up on YouTube, which so we've been doing that for the last 3 years, and I think that's also built new people because I mean I'm a huge YouTube addict watcher, and a lot of people listen to it. You know, don't necessarily look at our gorgeous faces. I don't know why, but
What's wrong with them?
It's something different. You better see us pulling faces.
Pulling faces.
Just thank God none of us have picked our noses or done anything we shouldn't do, right? Let's be
That's
honest.
my worst nightmare. Like, imagine
right?
forgetting that you're, not that I'd forget while we're
well,
on
I assume
podcast.
one of us would tell the other if we were doing something really bad.
I hope so.
True.
But my point was that, and it relates to writing, and as a piece of advice that I think we would all give to people writing, is it make it easy on yourself. Don't lower the barriers. Don't make it hard. Don't if the thought of doing everything that you need to get done to make it, put the podcast up. So for us, it was the podcast. It was getting complicated. It was getting hard, and we just said, let's just do it and get it up and get started. And then over the years, we've gotten better and better. And it's better than not having started because we couldn't do it the way we wanted to do it. You know, there's
no
that whole
one's more
perfection
surprised than I that
and
we do it.
That we do.
To be honest, because like we tried a course, right? And we've got all the stuff loaded and recorded. That's actual gold. And never did anything with it. I mean, we've started so many things, right? But the podcast
but
it's because a second book that's halfway through.
Because we always make it too complicated, right? Whereas the podcast, we just get on, we hit record and we go. And I think it's the same for your writing. Like,
I agree.
Get in the seat, put your fingers on the keyboard and just go and write that first book, write the next book.
If you haven't got the perfect cover and you haven't got everything set up, to hell with it. Like, don't let that stop you. Put it up there and you can tweak. And like, it's not best practice, but to hell with best practice. Just get started.
If the alternative is not putting it up, if the alternative is sitting in your desk drawer forever, get it up. Like, get started, get going.
I mean, nobody's going to buy it probably, but that doesn't matter.
At least put it through an editing program, please.
Cheryl's very concerned about the
Shah, thanks for that, eh?
But the reality is, like, when we started the podcast, nobody did listen. Like, I think we conned some friends into it, so we'd get some stats on there. I mean, now we're getting, tens of thousands of downloads every week. But we didn't start with that, and it's the same with often with books and things. You don't get it right from the start. And so be gentle with yourself and just get those ride with your learning wheels on as much as you need to. Don't let it stop you riding the bike, if you like, if you need a little bit of support or
and we would have some podcasts that don't do well as others. We don't really follow it too much. We always get excited about the ones that really I hesitate to say go viral, but do really, really well. But that's like a book. You can put one book up and think that the next book is going to do just as well,
100%.
and it does better or does worse. It's just it's just life. It's timing. It's
which
everything.
one is
But
going to
again,
hit.
like books, we're now getting people that were listening to episodes that we recorded 3-4 years ago that have just discovered us, and we like go back through our. It's the same thing with writing as well.
Yeah.
And
Let's hope they don't listen to the one from 2015, though. I think
No, I think
Don't stop. Keep saying it. They're going to go and look for it. Don't.
Yeah.
Don't go back to the first one. Seriously,
say-
I'm a bit scared.
I would say from
Get
the
forward 200 episodes.
Yeah. By then, we'd
a
ironed
lot,
out a few
right?
kinks.
Like,
We knew what
I'm
we
I'm
were
sure there's
doing
always
by then.
kinks, but there's.
Yeah, no, well, sort of knew what we
I
were
want to
doing.
say we knew what we were doing by then.
But we
I'm not
don't.
sure.
No.
I'm
I
not
don't
sure
even
either.
think
I'm
we
not
know
sure
what
we
we're
know
doing
what we're doing now.
Yeah.
We dial back on the hysteria, to be fair, on some.
Yeah.
Some of them,
Yeah.
I mean,
Mhm.
I think we can all remember that one particular episode. I'm not going to talk about it because, again, it shouldn't really
People
see the
will
light of
look.
day. And we were literally hysterical.
Is that the
recording it.
book one?
That was the one where we were
Yes.
writing a
Oh.
book, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That's
It was a
right.
good
We're
One
reading a
would-
book
With
together.
the dog.
Fabulous to
That was
write
It
fun.
was
a book.
allergic
That was
to
fun.
Well, it
something.
wasn't so much
No,
writing, it was
that's
plotting.
different one. Yeah.
Oh my Lord, I don't even want to know. I'm not going to go back and listen to that.
No,
No,
but
don't you either, people.
no.
Move on.
You know
Move
what
on.
happens when you say don't do something.
I know,
Yeah.
You know
right?
what happens.
Yeah.
But
We're not
here's
going to tell
something-
anyone the number.
So I'm going to give a pitch for doing something because it's easy for us to talk about like friendships and about the support of each other. But if you're feeling in a place that you don't have that, then we've all been there again. And I'd say encourage you to maybe reach out to a local writers group or whatever. I don't know if RWA is still going in terms of chapters, but there's this. In many ways, I think there's actually, ironically, more support for writers now and less. There's more online support, but I do think that with the online kind of move for the world, there's actually less in-person maybe writing meetings. I don't know. That's just my gut feel. Because, to be honest, we're so busy and peopled out online. I think sometimes we don't appreciate how important it is to actually connect with people on a kind of smaller group basis. It's not just so we can raise money to pay for our hosting, but we have set up a Patreon, like a mastermind group for authors at all levels with ourselves. And I mean, you get what you see here or hear here. It's very honest. It's no editing, but we are there to talk with and just support you on your writing journey through. If anybody's got a question about advertising or marketing or whatever, or just to run a cover by, that's a space that you can access through our Patreon /Spy Girls podcast. And again, it's a minimal amount per month, but we could have offered like an expensive membership thing, and we really didn't want that. That's not us. And there's lots of wonderful ones out there, but this is low key. Having a
Gathering
handouts in there, like in the files.
But once a month, we
put a handout in.
Cool checklist and a handout just to kind of some prompts of different topics. But it's low key, but it's sort of supportive, and it's us, and that's important.
You can talk with other
for our
writers in there.
brand. It's genuine. We don't have the flashy bells and whistles fully.
There's some wonderful sharers in there too that they're happy to comment just like we are, and bring a different perspective again.
And it's really important because just because somebody may not have hundreds of books under their belt, because I certainly have, they come with their own world knowledge. They come with their own previous backgrounds, whether it's business or science or whatever. Everybody has something to offer, including yourselves.
Yes,
Yes, awesome.
Good to me.
Right.
So on that note,
to our listeners for listening and for watching, we really, really appreciate you. We absolutely appreciate all the people that support us on Patreon and the people that leave reviews. And if you would like to give us a little 400th episode shout out on whatever podcast app you're on, you could give us a rating or a review or however it works. That would be really helpful as well, because that helps us get recommended in the good algorithms.
Make a Spy Girl happy.
Make a spa girl
Make a
happy.
spa girl happy, and the
Yeah.
spa girl fairy will visit you.
No, they
and
won't.
drop
No,
you
no,
right
there
No,
will be
there'll be no
no,
visiting.
no. You
There'll be no
overpromised.
visiting. Visiting's
Yeah,
out.
that was a
We're
that was a
not-
miss.
No, that was a miss.
Yeah.
You missed that.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Discard
Barbara.
that last bit. If we edited, we'd edit that out.
Yeah,
to be
but we
fair.
don't.
Yeah,
So
but we
you
don't.
just,
Get
So,
it.
yeah,
so
no.
that's it.
Okay.
But
Just
a
take
huge,
our word
big,
for it.
massive thank you to all of you for listening
Yeah.
to us, really,
Thank you all.
and
Yeah.
our crazy, our particular brand of crazy.
I'm not
Yeah.
sure if we'll be here on episode 800. We
Well,
might
I
just
know
check
that
each
we
other by
won't.
then.
Yeah.
I'll be
I was
honest.
trying to think how old I'd be.
Another
none of
8
that.
years.
I'm not talking to you from my rest home, mate. Yeah,
So enjoy us while you can, people.
Yeah.
Subscribe.
yeah,
Hit the share button. We love you.
We love you and
Yeah.
appreciate you.
yeah.
Awesome. Thank you all for listening to another episode of the Spa Girls podcast. Yeah, I can't stop myself. It just all comes out.
You gotta do it.
All right. See you.
Keep well.
Bye.
Bye.
See you next time.